everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to talk about something that has been brewing literally in the gardening world for years, and that's compost tea. It's often praised as a miracle potion that can boost growth, improve soil fertility, and protect your plants from diseases. But is it really a miracle potion that it's hyped up to be? Let's dig into what science actually says. Compost tea is made by soaking the compost in water, sometimes with added ingredients like molasses or fish extract or kelp. The idea here is to extract the nutrients and microbes into the liquid form that you can pour or spray onto your plants. Now that sounds powerful, right? But the truth is actually a lot more watered down. One of the biggest claims is that the compost tea adds nutrients to the soil. Well, there is no doubt that compost tea does add nutrients to the soil quickly that can be readily absorbed by the plant roots. But does compost tea add more nutrients to the soil than that of the compost alone? Does the process of making the tea increase the amount of nutrients? Well, the answer is no. No matter what method you use, you cannot increase the amount of nutrients in the compost tea. It will be the same as that of the compost that was used to prepare that tea. In fact, the researchers have shown that the nutrient levels in compost tea is less than what's in the solid compost, and the moment you dilute that compost tea in more water, the amount of nutrient concentration drops down drastically. According to the study published in Hot Technology, even the most nutrient-rich compost teas had the NPK values like 0.006% nitrogen, 0.002% phosphorus, and 0.01% potassium, which is literally nothing as compared to even the mild organic fertilizer. Moreover, you must remember that the effectiveness of compost tea varies directly depending upon the waste material, the compost quality, production methods, the pH, time, temperature, oxygenation that you're providing, microbial consortia, compost to water dilution, the final dilution, the application method, nutritional additives that you are adding. So if you are hoping that compost tea will feed your plant, it simply doesn't contain enough to make a real difference. Now what about the microbes? The idea is that the compost tea introduces good bacteria and fungi to improve soil health. But your soil already has billions of microbes that adding a few more is not going to do much because they will struggle to survive and often die out. In fact, multiple studies, including the one from Oregon State University, found no significant increase in microbial population or diversity in the soil after applying compost tea. A study on soybean field in 2021 found that compost tea did not change the soil microbial community or boost soybean growth or yield, indicating that the microbes in the compost tea may not survive or establish in soil. Another meta-analysis showed that disease suppression from compost tea varies directly depending upon the compost source, brewing, dilution, and microbial community. Now this was related to compost tea applied in soil. Some people also use compost tea as foliar spray. And the theory here is that the nutrients in the compost tea gets absorbed through the stomatal opening. Well, that's true to some extent, but not completely, because the macronutrients like nitrogen, potassium, phosphorus, calcium, magnesium do not get absorbed completely, and when it rains it all gets washed away. There is another theory that good microbes on the leaves outcompete the bad ones, but the reality is that the environment on the surface of the leaves is way too harsh. UV rays, wind, and dryness can kill most of the sprayed microbes within hours. Plus, the researchers have shown neutral to even negative results when testing the ability of compost tea to control plant diseases. And worse yet, if not brewed properly, compost tea can carry harmful pathogens like E. coli and Salmonella, posing a big risk to you and your plants. So what really works better? Just applying compost directly. Applying compost to your soil not only adds organic matter to your soil, it boosts water retention and supports healthy microbial environment much more effectively than any tea can. Moreover, from safety point of view, because compost tea is a liquid brew that often sits for hours or days, it can become a breeding ground for harmful pathogens if not brewed correctly. And since there is no official guideline for home brewers, it's very hard to predict what's in your tea. This can be especially dangerous if you are spraying it on your edible crops or handling it without gloves or mask. So the best approach is to just apply the compost directly to your soil and let the nature take care of the rest. If you found this video helpful, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe and share it with your garden loving friends. We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching and happy gardening.